We're heading now for the end of February, so it is really our last opportunity to trim our autumn raspberries. This can be done anywhere between November and the beginning of March. They are just starting to shoot, so it is definitely time to get this job done and then also feed them for the year ahead. Autumn raspberries are the ones that actually produce on their first year canes. These plants were only planted last year, so they are quite young, so there isn't a huge amount for us to cut down, but that's going to encourage plenty of new growth and then lots of berries come late summer for us. This is what the area is looking like at the moment. So I've got some weeds to deal with, and then we've also got some that are the shoots coming through. You can just see them down there. They will spread out, so you may want to make sure that they are all within the area that you're wanting to keep the raspberries in. And then on the end of the canes, you'll see where the last of the fruit was trying to be produced last year. So with these, it's actually very easy. We are literally just going to take them right down to an inch or two from the ground. My recording didn't work as I was cutting these down, but what you can see is I've actually taken secateurs and I've cut them at an angle around 1 to 2 inch above the ground level. And then now we just want to go ahead and remove some of the weeds around the edge, being careful not to get any of these new shoots. So all I've got is a hoe. The first thing I'm going to do is actually just remove some of this wood chip off of the bed. These were just very quickly placed down at the end of last year to cover the ground and stop the weeds. And then just work into some of those weeds that are there as well. So over here I do have some raspberries that are moving out of the area, so I'm just going to give them a bit of a pull up, and they usually come out pretty easy. They're not overly difficult. You just do want to keep on top of them and avoid them getting too established in that area. Just go ahead and remove the weeds as best you can. You may find that pulling them out by hand is easier for you. You obviously want to avoid any damage around the roots too much. My son has just emptied some of the compost bin onto the top of this raspberry bed now, so I'm just going to gently spread it out. It hasn't been sieved, it's really quite rough, but that's absolutely fine. That's not going to hurt it. But what I will do in a minute is just make a little bit of space around the main areas of the raspberries so they're not too deep mainly. Pull out any sort of weeds or anything as I see them, or anything that's a bit large, or any bits of plastic, anything like that. There might even be a potato down there. We'll pull him out as well. If you haven't got any compost from compost bins, then you can just use some manure, but at that point you're still going to want to be careful that it's not around the base of the plants too much, so just leave a little bit of a gap around them. And then if you've got a lot of spent compost, and by that I mean compost that you've already used to grow something, then that will be absolutely perfect for this job. And you can just add in some bloodfish and bone, some organic seaweed, or some chicken manure pellets or something like that, and it will just replenish it. The other thing you can do is mix it 50-50 with some fresh compost as well. Got a bit of a job of working out exactly where they are now. When I asked my son to plant them in at a distance that was the same in between, he said, "Oh, but they spread everywhere. What's the point in doing that? That's just stupid to spend the time." And he's right, let's face it. Got a plastic bag there. It's amazing what gets in your own homemade compost. There we go, that's that bed, and these raspberries fed for another year. I still do have a load of weeds around the outside to sort out, but it's raining, so that's definitely not a job for today.